At the RAF Cosford Air Show, the Vintage Village place hosts to all sorts of areas looking back at the 1960s. One of those is scientific breakthroughs. Marty Kechara is going to tell us more about it. Hello.
Hello, Jason. How you doing? All right?
All good with me, and a busy weekend ahead because there is so much to talk about.
Certainly is, yeah. I mean, we haven't just got the Vintage Village. There's going to be the STEM hangar, so we're going to be doing all sorts of science activities in there. There's lots of sort of 60s orientated shows going on. We've got our public engagement group, Science Shack, are going to be doing a big show about the science of the 60s and about space travel and about sort of gases in space and about the sort of space race that went on during the 1960s.
Yeah, I mean, the 60s was an amazing time. And one thing people don't realise about space is quite how much stuff there is up there. There are massive clouds of ethanol floating about in the ether. Absolutely. And they just don't get it, do they?
No, they don't. And certainly, right, if they knew that in the asteroid belt, which is sort of between Mars and the gassy planets, right, actually there's an asteroid there that contains enough ethanol to make 1 trillion pints of beer.
Sounds like a fantastic party. But the only problem is no atmosphere. So, it has to be done. But on top of all that, though, you do have the likes of the space race, as you say, and the 1969, man walking on the moon. You couldn't ask for more when you're trying to put an exhibition together.
No, I think, July the 20th, 1969, it's, it's a seminal moment. I mean, all that engineering that went into just that one moment of those people walking on the surface of the moon, all coming from basically technology that was invented during the war, is just amazing to see all that bad used for all that good. So yeah, fantastic.
And when you're putting this together, I suppose you're tying it in with the sort of courses the university are offering. Tell us a bit about your role at the uni.
So I've got a couple of roles at the university. I'm a lecturer in microbiology, so I teach biomedical scientists. So one of the things we do is prepare our students to go to work for NHS laboratories. So they're the sort of people behind the scenes making all the really important decisions in the laboratories. And without them, there wouldn't be really any sort of clinical diagnosis, because 80% of the decisions doctors make are made with the help of a biomedical scientist like myself. Mm-hmm. And so that's part of one of my roles, but my other role at the university is to do just what we're doing now, to talk about science, bring science to the public, make it a bit more understandable, sort of engage the public and children and parents, communities in just how amazing science can be, and get them thinking about how sort of science influences their life and things like that.
I mean, it touches in every way, from the microwave oven to nuclear magnetic resonance, which may help them if they're ever ill.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if we think about the 60s, I mean, so many things came out of there. If you think about medicine, I mean, the first kidney transplant was in 1963. And the first heart transplant was in 67. And actually, although that heart transplant patient did die in the end, those sort of strives for medicine that came from the 60s are, colour our lives today. We invented the LED, the laser, computer language like BASIC and things like that. All those sorts of things. If anybody's had a VIC-20 or a Spectrum and remember programming in BASIC back in the 80s, and all of those sorts of inventions, those advances, they all come from the 60s.
Yeah, I think the weird bit is, you're thinking about it, it's now 50 plus years ago, and half a century, but so many advancements and so much part of today. And again, a great opportunity for somebody, whether they're coming along as an undergraduate or maybe looking at a postgraduate degree course. The University of Wolverhampton has so much to offer that'll look back to the 60s and further back as you look at those innovations and help to build the innovations of the future.
Yeah, certainly. And I think when they do come to Cosford, do look in on us. Do have a good look around the STEM hangar. Come to the Vintage Village and ask questions. Ask us about our courses. Find out about the open day, which is on June the 17th, and really use the people that are there to get any information that you need.
Well, certainly RAF Cosford is the place to be. If you want to get along, just as you say, find the Vintage Village, check out all the details. wlv.ac.uk is the website. That'll take you straight to all the details about the events coming up with the open day. And make sure you talk to these people to make the most of your visit and find out how you could get yourself educated in the future. But for now, Martin, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Jason. Cheers.